Something surprising is happening inside your body right now. Silent signals are moving through your bloodstream, and they are either calming your system or feeding a hidden fire that slowly builds more and more belly fat. Most people never feel it happening. Most doctors never talk about it. And yet this secret process controls far more of your weight, energy, and long-term health than any workout, diet pill, or trendy routine ever will. Today, you are going to learn the truth behind the body's inflammation switch. One simple change can help turn that switch down. And when it does, something powerful begins. The dangerous visceral fat deep inside the belly starts to shrink. Not the soft surface fat you can pinch. The deeper fat that sits around your organs drives inflammation, slows your metabolism, and makes weight loss feel impossible. The fat that experts call metabolically active because it behaves like an organ of its own, releasing chemicals that keep your body stressed, swollen, and stuck. This video reveals the one daily habit that can interrupt that cycle, a habit so basic that most people overlook it completely, a habit that influences hormones, digestion, insulin sensitivity, and even the microbes living in your gut. These tiny changes inside the body create a chain reaction. Inflammation is dialed down. Your metabolism becomes more responsive. Your belly becomes less bloated. And the pressure coming from visceral fat begins to ease. In a moment, you will hear how this single adjustment affects your brain, your muscles, and your internal organs all at once. You will also learn why so many weight loss plans fail, not because they lack motivation, but because they never address the chemical triggers that push the body into fat storage mode. There is a reason some people feel stuck even when they diet or exercise. There is a reason the scale refuses to move for weeks. And there is a reason certain foods and habits create inflammation within minutes, while others calm it down just as fast. Stay with this video because near the end you will hear a rarely discussed insight from recent research. Something researchers discovered about how visceral fat behaves under certain conditions and why this fat organ becomes weaker when one simple daily habit changes. When you hear it, you will understand why some people suddenly start losing belly fat without changing their entire lifestyle. You will also hear about the body's internal reset window, a period each day when inflammation naturally drops. Most people unknowingly disrupt this window. By the time this video ends, you will know exactly how to protect it. You will also learn the number one mistake that keeps inflammation high, even in people who believe they are eating clean. This mistake affects hormones that regulate hunger, cravings, and energy. Fixing it does not require strict dieting. It does not require long workouts. It does not require supplements. But it does require a small shift that works with your biology instead of against it. As you watch, you will start to recognize your own daily patterns, the foods that trigger swelling in the gut, the habits that disrupt your internal clock, the routines that cause blood sugar spikes and crashes. And you will see how they all connect to the deeper fat that builds around your liver, pancreas, and intestines. This connection is the key to melting visceral fat, not through force but through balance. Not by starving yourself, but by turning off the internal alarm system that keeps the body stuck in inflammation mode. By the end of this video, you will know the simple hack that helps soothe inflammation, calms the body's stress pathways, supports digestion, boosts metabolism, and encourages the breakdown of visceral fat. You will understand exactly why it works, how to apply it today, and how quickly you may begin feeling changes in your waistline, your energy, your mental clarity, and even your sleep. And that is why it is worth staying until the final seconds. Every detail you are about to hear builds on the one before it. Miss one part, and the final hack will not make as much sense. Watch till the end, and you will understand a method that many experts overlook and many people never learn. Welcome to the channel. If you want more simple, science-based videos that help you take control of your health, make sure you subscribe. Your journey to a calmer body and a slimmer waist begins right now. Visceral fat is not the kind of fat you see in the mirror or feel when you pinch your waist. It sits much deeper, packed tightly around your liver, intestines, pancreas, and other vital organs. This type of fat behaves very differently from the soft layer under your skin. It is biologically active, meaning it constantly sends chemical signals throughout the body. These signals can influence your hormones, your metabolism, your appetite, and even how your body stores or releases energy. Many people walk around with high levels of visceral fat without realizing it because you cannot always see it from the outside. Even someone who looks average or slightly overweight can be carrying a dangerous amount internally. The real concern is what this fat does once it builds up. Visceral fat releases inflammatory molecules that act like tiny alarms inside your body. These alarms tell your immune system that something is wrong, even when there is no real threat. Over time, this creates a state of chronic low-grade inflammation. This silent inflammation stresses your cells, damages tissues, and interferes with the way your body processes sugar, fat, and energy. When inflammation rises, your metabolism becomes less efficient. Your cells become more resistant to insulin, leading to higher blood sugar levels. Your body begins storing even more fat, especially around the belly, creating a cycle that becomes harder to break the longer it continues. This constant inflammatory state has been linked to serious health problems. High visceral fat increases the chances of developing type 2 diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver disease, and hormonal imbalances. It can increase blood pressure and affect cholesterol levels. It also places strain on your organs by crowding them and making it harder for them to function normally. Many studies show that people with higher visceral fat have a greater risk of long-term health issues, even if their weight seems normal. The frustrating part is that inflammation coming from visceral fat can block fat loss. When your body believes it is under stress, it holds on to fat as a survival mechanism. The inflammatory chemicals released by visceral fat send signals that make your body store more energy instead of burning it. This is why some people feel stuck even when they try dieting or exercising. The internal inflammation keeps interfering with the very processes needed for fat to break down. The solution begins with a shift that is far simpler than most people expect. Instead of chasing short-term tricks, extreme diets, or exhausting routines, the real breakthrough comes from adopting an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. This is not a strict program or a complicated schedule. It is a way of living that gently lowers the internal stress signals in your body so your system can finally function the way it is meant to. When inflammation drops, your metabolism becomes more balanced, your hormones work more smoothly, and your body becomes far more willing to release the stubborn, visceral fat that has been sitting around your organs. An anti-inflammatory lifestyle focuses on everyday choices that calm your system instead of overwhelming it. The foods you eat send chemical messages throughout your body. Some foods create irritation in the gut, spike blood sugar, and lead to oxidative stress, which raises inflammation. Other foods have naturally soothing compounds that support digestion, balance hormones, and protect your cells. When you shift toward these calming foods and habits, your body responds quickly, your stress hormones begin to settle, your blood sugar becomes steadier, your gut bacteria start producing helpful substances instead of inflammatory ones. These small internal changes add up, creating a powerful effect on the deeper fat inside the abdomen. This approach goes far deeper than visible weight loss. It allows your body to deactivate the inflammatory signals sent out by visceral fat. Once those signals quiet down, your fat cells stop behaving like alarm systems. They stop interfering with your metabolism. Instead, they become more responsive to your body's natural fat-burning processes. Over time, this leads to a gradual melting of visceral fat without forcing the body into shock or deprivation. The beauty of this hack is its sustainability. You are not battling your biology or forcing your body to do something unnatural. You are helping it return to balance. When your body feels safe, nourished, and stable, inflammation drops at the root. And when inflammation lowers, the deeper belly fat becomes far easier to lose. This is the foundation of lasting change, and it is the key to unlocking the internal shift that many people have been missing. The reason this approach works comes down to how visceral fat behaves inside the body. Unlike the softer fat under your skin, visceral fat acts almost like a separate organ. It produces inflammatory molecules that circulate through your bloodstream, sending signals that keep your system in a constant state of alert. These molecules affect how your cells use energy, how your liver processes nutrients, and how responsive your body is to insulin. When visceral fat increases, these inflammatory messages become stronger, creating a stressful environment inside your body. By reducing visceral fat, you automatically reduce the amount of inflammation being produced, allowing your metabolism to function more efficiently. At the same time, the foods you eat and the habits you follow influence how sensitive your body is to insulin. Anti-inflammatory foods support smoother digestion, better blood sugar balance, and healthier hormone activity. When insulin works properly, your body can move glucose into cells without struggle. This prevents the spikes and crashes that lead to cravings, fatigue, and more fat storage. Anti-inflammatory eating also improves the communication between the gut and the brain. A healthy gut lowers stress chemicals and encourages your body to burn stored fat instead of holding on to it. When these systems start working together, your metabolism becomes more flexible and efficient. Lifestyle plays a major role as well. Stress and lack of sleep are two of the quickest ways to raise inflammation. When you are stressed, your body releases cortisol, a hormone that encourages fat storage, especially around your abdomen. High cortisol over time makes it extremely difficult to lose visceral fat. Poor sleep has a similar effect. It disrupts hunger hormones, increases cravings for high sugar or high fat foods, and raises inflammation throughout the body. Even a few nights of bad sleep can impact how much fat your body stores. Regular movement helps counter these effects by improving circulation, increasing oxygen flow, and reducing inflammatory compounds. You do not need extreme workouts for this to happen. Consistent, moderate activity signals your body to burn energy more steadily, supports healthy insulin function, and helps lower stress hormones naturally. All of these mechanisms work together. Lower inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, better insulin control, reduces fat storage. Reduced fat leads to fewer inflammatory signals. This creates a loop that gradually shifts your body from storing fat to burning it more effectively. Putting this hack into action begins with small choices that calm your body from the inside out. Start with the foods you eat every day. An anti-inflammatory plate is built around colorful vegetables, fresh fruits, whole grains, beans, lentils, lean proteins, and healthy fats. These foods supply antioxidants, fiber, and natural compounds that help quiet inflammation in the gut and bloodstream. Adding nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon or sardines can support hormone balance and improve the way your body handles blood sugar. These foods work together to create a steady flow of energy without the spikes that lead to stress and fat storage. At the same time, it helps to reduce foods that turn up inflammation, such as sugary snacks, processed meats, refined carbs, fried foods, and heavily packaged items. These trigger quick rises in blood sugar, oxidative stress, and gut irritation, all of which make visceral fat harder to lose. Movement is another powerful tool. Your body does not need high-intensity workouts every day to burn fat effectively. What it needs is consistency. Regular walking, cycling, light jogging, or any steady cardio increases circulation and helps your body use energy more efficiently. Adding strength training a few times a week builds muscle, and muscle is metabolically active. It burns more calories at rest and improves insulin sensitivity, making it easier to shed visceral fat over time. Even simple routines like bodyweight exercises or short resistance sessions can create meaningful change when done regularly. Sleep also plays a major role in controlling inflammation. When you sleep well, your body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and lowers stress signals. Poor sleep, on the other hand, increases cravings, disrupts hunger hormones, and encourages your body to store more fat around the stomach. Creating a consistent sleep routine, reducing screen time before bed, and keeping your sleeping environment calm can help restore your natural rhythm. Managing stress ties all these steps together. Chronic stress keeps cortisol levels high, and cortisol is one of the strongest drivers of visceral fat accumulation. Daily stress reduction practices such as slow breathing, walking outdoors, stretching, or light physical activity help lower cortisol and support an internal environment where fat loss becomes easier. Even a few minutes of deliberate calm each day can shift your nervous system out of survival mode, reduce inflammation, and support the breakdown of deep abdominal fat. When you begin following an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, the changes do not hit all at once. There is no sudden drop in weight overnight, no dramatic transformation in a single week. The shift happens gradually as your body adjusts, heals, and becomes more balanced. Your inflammation levels begin to fall little by little, and as that happens, the internal environment that was once forcing your body to hold on to visceral fat starts to calm down. This is how real, lasting fat loss works. It is steady, not shocking. The deeper fat around your organs responds as the inflammatory signals weaken and your metabolism becomes more efficient. Research has shown that when visceral fat decreases, inflammation markers in the blood also drop. These markers include chemicals that your fat cells release when they are under stress. As they reduce, your cells function better, your energy use improves, and your organs work with less strain. Studies also show that people who lower visceral fat often experience better blood sugar control, healthier cholesterol levels, and smoother insulin response. These metabolic improvements are signs that your body is shifting into a healthier rhythm. They are also early indicators that deeper fat loss is happening even before you see major changes on the scale. With consistent habits, many people begin noticing small signals within a few weeks. Their stomach feels less tight and swollen. Their digestion becomes more predictable. Their morning energy improves. They experience fewer cravings, especially in the evening. These are all signs that inflammation is coming down and the body is becoming more responsive. As your metabolism steadies, your body becomes more willing to use stored fat for energy, including the stubborn fat around your organs. Long term, the benefits reach far beyond appearance. Lower visceral fat is linked to reduced risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, and other serious conditions. Your body feels lighter, clearer, and more stable as internal stress decreases. What matters most is that you do not need extreme routines to get these results. Even moderate changes, adding more whole foods, adjusting sleep habits, moving regularly, or reducing stress, create meaningful improvements. Small steps compound over time, and your body rewards consistency with better health, more energy, and a gradual melting of the deep belly fat that once felt impossible to lose. Many people struggle to reduce visceral fat because they focus on the wrong strategies. One of the most common mistakes is believing that intense exercise alone, especially ab-focused workouts, will melt deep belly fat. Crunches, planks, or heavy gym sessions cannot target visceral fat directly. This type of fat responds more to hormonal balance and inflammation levels than muscle movements. Exercise is helpful, but it cannot fix the internal inflammation that keeps visceral fat in place. When people rely only on workouts without changing their lifestyle or eating habits, they often feel frustrated because the results do not match the effort they are putting in. Another mistake is turning to crash diets or extreme restrictions. Skipping meals, starving yourself, or cutting out entire food groups too suddenly can increase stress on your body. When your body feels deprived, it raises stress hormones and slows metabolism to protect itself. This leads to more inflammation and even more fat storage, especially around the stomach area. People may see quick weight loss at first, but it usually comes from water and muscle loss, not the deeper fat they want to target. Once they return to normal eating, the weight quickly returns because the root cause, inflammation, was never addressed. Food choices also play a major role in what to avoid. Processed snacks, sugary drinks, refined carbs, baked goods, fast food, and heavily fried meals all trigger inflammation. These foods create blood sugar spikes, feed harmful gut bacteria, and send stress signals through your body. Over time, this encourages visceral fat to grow and makes fat loss far harder. Even simple habits like eating late at night can cause problems. Heavy meals before bed disrupt digestion, interfere with sleep quality, and raise inflammation levels the next day. When your system does not get a chance to reset overnight, your hunger hormones shift and cravings increase. Many people overlook how small daily habits sabotage their progress. Too much caffeine late in the day, inconsistent sleep schedules, constant snacking, or eating in response to stress all contribute to inflammation. Even overtraining in the gym can backfire by raising cortisol. The goal is not perfection, but awareness. Understanding which habits quietly fuel inflammation helps you make better choices without feeling overwhelmed. Avoiding these common mistakes removes many of the hidden obstacles that slow progress and keeps your body in a state where losing visceral fat becomes much more manageable. When people hear the phrase turn off inflammation, they often think it has to be something complicated. But the truth is, it's usually the simple habits, repeated consistently, that create the biggest shift inside your body. The real hack isn't a supplement or a magic food. It's the way your daily choices quietly lower stress hormones, stabilize blood sugar, and signal your body to release stored visceral fat instead of protecting it. And the best part? You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight to see that shift start happening. Even one or two small changes can begin to calm the internal fire. Or maybe it's choosing protein and whole foods at your first meal instead of something sugary. Maybe it's giving yourself a real bedtime and letting your body recover for once. Or it could be something as simple as a 10-minute walk after eating, which can dramatically help your cells process glucose more efficiently. These tiny decisions tell your metabolism, we're safe, we don't need to stay in fat storage mode. And when that message becomes consistent, your body responds. You're not aiming for perfection, you're aiming for momentum. A little more nourishment, a little more movement, a little more rest. That's it. When you stack these small habits together, inflammation slowly loses its grip, energy comes back, and your waistline follows. This isn't a quick fix. It's the beginning of a new baseline for your body. And if you want help figuring out where to start, whether with food, movement, or a simple daily routine, drop a comment and I'll guide you. If you enjoy videos like this and want more practical, science-based tools to support your health, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next one. Before trying any new health or lifestyle change, remember that every body is different. What works for one person may not work exactly the same for another. If you have any medical conditions or concerns, it's always best to consult your doctor or qualified nutritionist before making big changes. The goal is not to chase extreme quick fixes, but to build habits that are sustainable, realistic, and gentle on your body over time. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more simple, science-based tips that support your health and help you take control of your body. Your small actions today can create big changes tomorrow.